times we had. Share.
You don't remember where you're coming from. You don't remember where you're coming from. You don't remember where you're coming from. Rastafari, why you turn your back on your brother when him need you? You don't remember the days when him feed you. You know him no obligation but to him some respect. All you need to do is just give him one to get turn your back on your brother when him need you.
Another requested recipe what my goodie them have requested. Fast, easy, and simple recipe in your kitchen any day of the week. This one is how to make one pan chicken and potato recipe. Fast, easy, and simple. Let's go over our ingredients. I'm using a half a chicken. Now I prefer to use legs and thighs when I'm making this recipe. However, my husband does not like legs and thighs. He prefers breast. So I'm using half of chicken. However, you want to make sure when you're doing this recipe, you want to have skin on. You wash your chicken with lemon juice and vinegar, soak it up in that lemon juice and that little bit of salt. I'm going to put a link below to show you how to clean your chicken. Nice, easy, and simple. You're going to need olive oil, 1 tangerine, salt and black pepper, oregano and thyme, onion powder and garlic powder, Jamaican all-purpose seasoning and paprika, mustard and melted butter. Now, you're also going to need onion. I have 4 cubes of garlic right there, dried tomatoes, scallion, and potato. And my potato is washed nicely and is also cut in diced pieces. 2 different kinds of potatoes. So I'm using the red potato here and I'm using the yellow one. You could use whatever potato you want. Even if you want to use the little tiny ones, fine. Now that sums it up. Come on and let's get started. Your very first step. After you make sure your chicken washed nice and clean, you want to make sure that there's no water on this chicken. You're going to go ahead and get a nice clean paper towel and you just want to pat dry that chicken. You want to make sure there's no water on there and set it aside. Now we're moving on to our next step. We're going to make the season. Combine the seasons together to make one of the meanest one-pot chicken ever in your kitchen. In that container is your extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, Jamaican all-purpose seasoning, and paprika, thyme and oregano, mustard, and melted butter. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that good yummy spice on that chicken. And with clean hands, you want to make sure you get that seasoning into every nooks and cranny on that chicken. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and squeeze my tangerine. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my plastic wrap and I'm going to just put that wrap over my chicken and I'm going to make sure that it's nicely secure. And I want no oil leave up because we want all that good marinade to stay right inside of that chicken and soak through that chicken thoroughly, nice and tight. Now, you could do this overnight, put it in your refrigerator and let it sit. It's going to be the best tasting chicken you could ever have if you do it overnight. Make sure you want to do it a couple of hours before you cook it. Now, I'm moving on to my next step. Go ahead and add my potatoes in here. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of that extra virgin olive oil on there, black pepper, and salt. And be generous with the salt because you want your potato to have flavor, but not too generous. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken in here. And now I'm gonna put my orange back in there because that orange can have a lot of flavor and I want it to get right on that chicken. Now that marinade right there is the best part. So you want to make sure you get that marinade all over that chicken. Don't waste any of it. Just get that on that chicken. Get it all up on that potato. Now I want my chicken to have like crazy flavor, so I'm going to go ahead and just stick that onions all up in there. I'm going to add some scallions to it. Garlic. Just stick your garlic anywhere. I'm going to drizzle that with a little bit of parsley. And you want to put this in a preheated oven. Your oven should be on 400 degrees and this is going to take a full hour to bake. So when I come back, this will be done and we will be ready to eat. Now, after 45 minutes of baking, this is what your chicken is going to look like. You want to go ahead and turn the heat down to about 350 degrees. All that goodness that's on the bottom, you want to sprinkle that on top of that chicken. You're going to go ahead and put it back in your oven for that added 15 minutes on 350 degrees. And after that 350 degrees, you should be done. So I'll see you right back here. And 20 minutes later, we are done.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
Now let's get it on a plate now.
Through the highways, and on we'll go.
Another great one. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. It was fast, it was easy, and it was simple. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Let me know what you'd like to see me cook in my kitchen next. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy!
No rest.
I'm gonna let this cook for a good 30 minutes on medium heat. Cover it up nice and make it simmer. And when it's done simmer, it's time for eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
So this is in with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.